Hello everyone, it's Nikki Beckerl D'Angelo and welcome to another Fly With Me series. This one today is going to be taking off from my home airport and doing a little bit of a shakedown of this not brand new aircraft, but brand new to my hangar. In fact, there's nothing brand new about this plane at all. Let's take a look at the outside. It is the Grumman American Tiger from the 1970s. Now, it's amazing that these still exist on the tarmacs of most of the private, or on some of the private airstrips today. It was a competitor to the Cessna 172, low wing, competitor to the Warrior and Archers, but definitely did not take off. It was also not too long after the 70s that Grumman ceased to be a factor in the aviation industry. In fact, after the merger with Northrop, Grumman left Long Island entirely, which is not where they made this aircraft. This is actually a pretty nice airplane to fly. I tried to do a test flight last night, and I only found one complaint about it, and I'm sure it's something that they'll fix in an update in the future. It seems like VflyteAir, the people that make the Cirrus that I love so much, also make this, and it seems like they do not have any aversion to upgrading past aircraft as new technologies come out, like the G1000 that will be out for X-Plane 11 in the near future, or X-Plane 11 itself. They've upgraded a lot of the aircraft for that. I'm finding that they're actually a very squared away company that started very early making aircraft. They were early in the business, they were new to it, and by the time they got to the last two, which I believe the last two were the Cirrus and the might have been the Cirrus, but the last one was a Twin Comanche. They've actually stepped up their game, and they're getting closer and closer to being able to create an actual study level aircraft. I'm okay with not having study level aircraft right now. I just want aircraft that fly and have realistic flight characteristics, look like the aircraft, and have realistic procedures for starting them up. Now, I have no idea what that procedure is here, because this one I did not see come with a manual, but I will check their website for one at a later date. But I just want to take you on my second flight, and in this one we're really going to shake it down. We're going to take it off. We're going to take off. We're going to go off to the north over Lake Allatoona. I'm going to do 2 or 3 stall tests. I'm going to do a clean, I'm going to do a dirty, and then I'm going to do a full power on, takeoff stall. We're going to do a departure stall. Then we're going to come back and we're going to land, and that's going to be it. And I'm going to see how much I like or dislike this aircraft at that point. I do not have an opinion as of yet. So I'm going to try to start this in a way that I would start a Cessna, but the gear icon over here is very helpful, because the first things I got to do, I want the canopy to be open when I start it, because it's kind of hot today. I don't want to add a co-pilot. I want to get rid of the wheel and cowl plugs, and then I want to get rid of these 2 items right here. I get rid of this. It worked just... Oh, I can't get rid of it until I do that. Okay, that was pretty decent that they make you do that. And I want to get rid of this. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just check the aircraft out, look at it, and see where things are, because I did not. This is like really fast inside. Not used to it being so fast. Okay, let's think about this. Okay, so if we're looking from left to right, we're going to put the keys in the ignition, because they do those things, don't they? Alright, so the keys turn to both. Oh, and the starter's right here. Okay, so that's good to know. All right, as we look left to right, Aviation Master is up there. What's that again? Oh, that's music. There are flaps. Ashtray. Couple of key... There's a place to click over here to open it. I find opening things only happens when you... Oh, there it is. And then you got to close it again. So that's the area that you open. Your logbook is right in there. That's pretty cool. I wouldn't leave mine sitting inside of a airplane. So the model itself, you can tell it's their older, one of their older ones. I wonder if they'll touch it up at some point, but it's actually decent. Not perfect. I've looked at a Grumman American Tiger before, and the cockpit looks pretty well within line of what the actual cockpit looks like. There is one over at the flight school that I've signed up for to get my recurrent training in, so I can start flying 172s again. If this turns out okay, I might have them possibly check me out here. So let's go right to this, turn on the master switch. Okay, let's turn on our, do we have a beacon light? Flashing beacon. Okay, so people know that we're here. Alright, I'm going to go mixture full rich, and I'm going to do 3 pumps. 1, 2, 3 pumps. I'm going to put this to both. And then hold down the starter, crack the throttle just a little bit. It's hard to see up while you're doing this, but I'm going to do it. Alright, not so bad. Not so bad. Alright, let's look left to right. Let's find our engine instruments. Here's our RPM. I guess we have to turn on Avionics Master. Was that Avionics Master? Do we have anything else to turn on here? Oh, we should have turned on the fuel pump. Oh, that didn't work. That was Avionics Master. Wasn't it? No, that wasn't. That's pitch hold. That's the autopilot. That's Avionics Master. That's the autopilot right there. It's got a pitch hold, and that's pretty much it. It's pitch, up, down. That's it. Does it have a wing leveler? Alright, I'm going to put the pump on. Change the fuel tank. And probably leave it on here for now. Let's lean the mixture while we're sitting here looking at things. That XP Realistic pisses me off sometimes. It doesn't know what to do. Alright, so that's our radio stack. They did put a, I guess it's just a Garmin unit, 430 head. Alright, let's standby 1200, that's good. Oh, they do. They do, yeah, that's pretty cool how they do that. So the actual circuit breakers work. Alright, I'm just going to set the, I think runway 09 is the active this morning. We will get ATIS just because. I think it's 128.4. Is that correct? I've been flying out of here so long I should know this by heart. 128.12, it's still AWAS in the game. Okay, 128.12. Let's get this over here. Oh, they do work. Alright, that's good. 1, 2. Swap it over. That was not nav 1. This is nav 1. Okay. Whatever. We could just turn this on and get it. Yeah. 3015. I gotta set up some of my instrument. I don't know why this is so fast today. That's 16, that's 15. Okay. Good. Let's turn off COM 2. Let's start rolling. Rolling, 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 rolling on the river. They don't have a taxi light. It is a little bit dark here in the morning, so we are just gonna roll with the punches here. And we are gonna cut it this way to go to runway 9. I just want to make sure you guys, what the hell are you doing there? Should have looked off to the side. That was idiotic. I will close the canopy when I feel like it. It's hot. Alright, we're just gonna run without the canopy closed for a little bit. I just think it's cool because this is how I saw a lot of Grumman American Tigers taxiing, and they'd put on the I think I'm gonna have to disable XP Realistic in this one because it makes too much noise. The one thing I found wrong with this is its taxi speed. Its taxi speed is way too high. And I don't know if it's the game itself or it's the modeling of this particular device, this particular aircraft. I have to set up some views in this aircraft. I have some basic views set up. This was $12 on the store, the org store, yesterday. It was one of their quick and dirty sales. That's what I call them when they say, hey, you have 24 hours to buy this. Buy it now. So we're going to go over here. I'm going to show you a couple of other features of the Grumman American Tiger that I think are pretty cool. Okay, the first thing, we're going to close the cockpit. Get rid of that. Alright. So you see the taxi speed is off, and I think that's just something that they have to do. They have to fix a little with the idle. They have to fix a little with possibly friction on the tires. I don't know if they're going to add friction to the tires. We're going full over here. Now I have to set my flaps to take off 1/3. You got to hold the button. You got to hold the button. Pretty cool. I like it. It's the way that they worked in some of those aircraft back then. And we're going to roll and see how well she handles. I have a feeling that this thing is going to be pretty nice. Those guys over at VFlyte actually do make pretty decent aircraft. I can't say they are the most or highest in fidelity, but they are definitely showing improvement with every design they put out. And I can tell you my Cirrus is amazing after the beta patch, and I'm sure it will be awesome once 2.5 comes out. Alright, she handles well on the ground. Here, a little bit of P factor, a lot of bit of P factor. We're going to rotate there. We're going to do a climb out at about 70 knots, like a, try to keep it like a Cessna 172. Alright. We get to 500 feet, lift up. Okay, we got them done. Let's take a look at it on the outside. She's a pretty bird. Pretty bird. She climbs like a mother. I'm sure that is not correct. I don't think this thing would climb that fast, would it? She's got a lot of power. It's possible. So for looks, I think they nailed it. I'm not sure about flight model. I'm going to have to look at some of the older Grumman American Tigers. Okay, we're going to bring it up to about 4,500 feet. Let's make it 6,500 feet. I'm just going to clean up the environment here, turning that off. I don't want there to be any weather when I'm doing this. I just want to test it out, and that's it. So she loves to climb. That's pretty awesome. She's climbing almost sustained. at 1,000 feet a minute. She might have been able to handle this back then. She does handle very well, like most low wings that I've flown. Most of mine are Piper Archers, Piper Warriors. My high wings are 150, 152, 172, 182, and a mall. And she's pretty stable. She's showing that I need to apply left rudder, which is something I haven't been doing, but just a little. You can see that right there. I don't want to go to Cartersville. I want to go over the lake. So, man, does she climb. Alright, we're going to turn off the landing light. Strobe should be on. Landing light is off. Okay, so we've just taken off. So I'm going to add a little bit of... is that pump on? Let's get that pump on. Let's move our tanks over. Let's turn that pump off. Alright. I'm sure there's a little bit wrong here. Oil pressure, fuel, oil temp, everything's in the green over here. I didn't see anything called cow flaps. See parking brake, cabin heat, lights. I see mixture. I don't think that she has cow flaps. No. Just regular air-cooled engine with no problem. Alright, so we're coming up on 6,000 feet. No, we're going to stay here. We're going to hold at 55. We're going to go to slow flight. We're going to take her down to 55. I don't want to sit here at 6,500 feet and have to burn that off when we go back. So we're going to descend at 1,800, and then we're going to level off. P factor is, something is blowing us off to the right. I don't think it's wind. Wind was calm. Outside temperature is 52, so we don't have to worry about carb heat or anything when we do this. Alright, no, don't climb. Don't climb. You need to slow down and just be in slow flight for a few minutes. Just be in slow flight. So we're just going to do a clean stall first. And she should stall right around, let the nose drop there, right around 55. It's my thought process. Let's get this thing slowing down. Alright, so she's a little wonky in this configuration. So let's listen for that stall warning. Should kick in just a few seconds. Okay, power to idle. Power to idle. Angle attack coming up, coming up, coming up, coming up. There's no stall warning. Oh, she stalled nice. That was good. Full power. Positive rate of climb. Just a couple hundred feet. Let's get back up to 5,500. Let's try that dirty. Let's look off. She's got such beautiful visibility. I mean, this, if you want to go tour, I know why they call her sister the Traveler now. It's definitely the plane that you'd want to travel in. Alright, we're back at 5,000. Went right through because I was too busy trying to show the canopy. Alright, let's get her. We can hold her in 1/3 flaps. Come on, we'll just hold the altitude here. Hold the altitude here. See how she is. Just So I lose a little bit of altitude, but I guess we're going to lose it in the stall. So let's get her to about 70 knots and add in another third. And you got to hold that button. He's not going to drop those flaps without doing that. So we've got that in. We're at 60, we're going to full flaps. And we're going to pull back all the way. We're going to approach to landing stalls. And she drops that wing, flaps up, power full, stall recovered. Now we'll set her up for a full power stall. And you do that almost the same way. So we would be in 1/3 flaps. It would be right about there. And we were going to slow her down. Yes, I said slow her down for this. I know you're saying it's a departure stall, but this is the way I was taught so many years ago. You slow her down. Get her to just about the stall speed. Just about the stall speed. Keep it coming back. Keep it coming back. And get that baby hanging that angle of attack pretty high. Right about there. Let's pull it back just a little bit more. Hold that angle of attack high, which is what we're doing. We're holding it high. And then pull it back and full power. Oh, she went right over. That's good. And positive rate of climb. Alright, so I would say that's a pretty nice feature, how she stalls over there. Let's get her back down. We're going to turn to the south and go back to Cobb McCollum and make a long approach, I hope. Okay, there's Cobb McCollum. And we'll push her to the south this way. Beautiful day here in Georgia. Not a bad plane. So there's the Grumman American Tiger. I think there's a few hours left. If I can get this up online, you might be able to get it. It's no doubt that I am I have an addiction to buying digital aircraft and spacecraft, but I buy good ones. I don't buy horrible ones. And this, although it's not something that's going to get you from A to B really fast, if you're a nostalgia fan, if you are a low and slow and like to look at the scenery in the game, if you are a GA advocate and are just looking to fly jets every now and then, and you really want to get proficient in lots of different aircraft, I think that might be for you. Yeah, there's a lot of ifs in there, isn't there? I understand that there's going to be people that just don't want this or like it. Alright, that is not a good look for me. I want that one to be right there. Let's get over here. Let's do some work on these frames. Let's go to 300. And let's save all. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to 300. Let's save all. Let's go to the next one. That brings me right back inside every time. Let's see how this goes. There we go. That's the way it's going to go later on. Okay, I'll get all those set up on the ground. Let's go back inside. Why would you have those views? Some of these views are stupid. Alright, I've got to check these out. I downloaded someone's views, and I can't say they're stupid. They're just not something that I would need. Alright? I see Dobbins over in the distance. You can see it right there. And that, of course, is the other airport that I've been building out. But I see Cobb McCollum right over there, so we're going to circle around and come back on to approach for it. We're sitting over here playing with views. We flew right past the airport, but that's okay. We're so high up. We have more than enough time to do this. In fact, we could go over to Dobbins, just so you guys could get an idea of another airport that I am building out. So let's slow this aircraft down a little in its descent and just keep the descent like that, and we will go over to Dobbins and put her over in what I call the GA area, but I'm sure it's not a GA area in real life. Let's pull her down to right about there. So Dobbins is the local military base in Atlanta. It is an Air Reserve base and Army base. They fly C-130, C-5As, the new Air Force trainer jet, or at least one of Lockheed's entries into that. They built the F-22 here. They have a lot of Blackhawks here. It's a base, and it's on active Air Force base. It's an Air Reserve base. C-130s are being made here, the C-130J. It's a huge program. And the refit of, I believe, the wings and center fuselage section, I believe that's what they're doing on the C-5A. Alright. So this is actually a much bigger endeavor than Cobb County International was for me. It's a tremendously large base with big runways and huge taxiways and a lot of construction, a lot of things that were broken up. And the in-game, the delivered with the game and the gateway scenery, so delivered with the game scenery for the airport and the gateway scenery were just meh. They didn't afford you any kind of visual identification of the airport from far away. But when you look at the airport now, you get an idea of where everything is. You can see the base buildings. You can see the runway, the taxiways all lit up. I'm pretty happy with it. Pretty happy with it. Let's stay on course. Let's stop doing this veering to the right stuff. So we're dropping altitude ever so slightly just to stay on glide slope, but I'm going to pull it back up to 2,000 because I don't want to drop altitude that quick. Let's gain some speed, get there, and get her on the ground. We'll see how she handles. I might be flying this little baby a little bit more. I definitely will be flying my Cessna, the beautiful Cessna from Airfoil Labs. Hey, P.T. Johnson, I've called out a couple of times in the videos I do that you won that Cessna, and I want to give it away. If it's not you, if you don't answer me with an email to starcitizenaa@gmail.com, I'm going to give the aircraft away to somebody else. I really want there to be a giveaway before I have to give away the Cirrus SR20, which that contest will run from the last week of the month to the 4th of August. Alright, so pulling off. Nose is coming up way too high. There we go, losing that airspace. Airspeed. God, I gotta learn how to speak the English language. Okay, so we're coming in on final here at Dobbins. Straight in approach. Huge runway. I mean, we could probably land it pretty quickly. So if I could land it slow, we'll be able to take a little route of the south. I think the south is a much more interesting run on this airport right now than the north. The south is where most of the buildings are done. Let's generate some aircraft. So let's get into the plug-in administrator. Let's disable Pilot Edge. That should give the in-game ATC opportunity to start generating some aircraft to take off and land. Alright, so we're going back to 1500. And we're going to add our first notch of flaps, which means we got to keep our nose down. So we're at 1500 RPM, nose down pitch. Man, she still just wants to go fast. I'm going to go to 2/3. I think this thing might be just a little bit too fast. They might have idle set incorrectly. Or the performance for idle set incorrectly. I'm going to have to pull the throttle back to like 1,000. Are we getting carb heat? No, we're not getting the carb heat noise over there that we normally get. Alright, so I'm going to go full down. We made the airport. There's no way we didn't. We're looking down the runway at the end of the runway, trying to see what our descent rate is. We're now, our descent rate has increased a lot with that last notch of flaps. So we know when she stalls in this configuration, so we know that we're good at 65, 70. I added power, as you see, not pitch, to give me some more, to stop me from descending. Okay, so we're in a nice flat approach. This is nice. Alright, coming in over the threshold. Power back to idle. And just let it settle on the airport's runway. See an aircraft above on the left, but it's at like 60,000 feet. It looks like it anyway. So we had a nice little touchdown there. We're gonna bring the bring it up, and we're gonna get to the first one of our taxiways here. I still have to come through and put signs on this, but you know, she still looks good. The lines are in here, so if I follow the lines, I'll be able to get off the runway pretty quickly. So we're going to follow this line right here. And this one's going to take us off the first. Now, the airport design tool called WED does not give you military helicopters, so essentially what is an army base has been turned into a helicopter base. So that's what you see there. You see S-76s in U.S. Coast Guard markings instead of what would be Blackhawks in Army markings, but you know, you do what you can. They also don't have C-130 and C-5As in the game to drop for normal. So what you see is KC-10s, and you see BA-111s, I think they are, BA-111s or 110s. We can actually go over here. You see what my issue is with how fast this thing taxis. As soon as you hit the ground, she is booking. So as we come off the runway, you really got to play with the power. So we're just going to look around the airport, show off some of the buildings and stuff. Some jet blasts over here. A couple of big aircraft over there. Lots and lots and lots of detail in the placement of buildings, but you got to use what they have, so you're not going to have exact replicas of the base. You're going to have something that's more believable than what was in the game before. All these jet blasts are actually here. And this side of the airport, I believe, is just where they do a lot of the maintenance and a lot of the upgrades. Now, there is a big piece that goes off to the left over there, but it seems like that's just a place that they're doing a lot of the refit. In fact, there's a fence that will stop somebody from taking an aircraft down there. Look at this. We're doing 40 knots at 1,000 RPM. Definitely something that the people over at VflyteAir need to correct. So we're going to go back on the taxiway. Yeah, this thing's impossible to taxi slow, guys. You need to fix the taxi characteristics. Even if this is an old plane, you're still selling it, so you should support it. Alright, so we're going to come across over here. And we're going to go put her away. I would say the only negative I have about this is her taxi. I mean, I've got to bring her all the way down to idle, which is dangerous in this aircraft. You can foul the plugs. Being that we can foul the plugs, I'm going to back off on the mixture just a tad bit, just in case they have that modeled correctly. I mean, this thing gets booking on the tarmac very quickly, the taxiways. Alright, so we're going... I swear when you look at the Google map when you're building this little area over here has Patriot missiles. Swear to God. You look at it from Google Maps, from Bing, it looks like there's a missile battery over there. I wouldn't put it past them. This is an airport that whenever the president flies in, he is flying into this airport. Alright, this is where they have another fence. It looks like there used to be more down there, or possibly a runway, I'm not sure. But it's a taxiway now, and there just doesn't seem to be anything but aircraft maintenance going on down there. Aircraft construction, destruction, whatever it is. I think this is where the old Navy flyers used to be when this was a Navy base and they had the F-18s here. That was awesome. Slow down the aircraft again. I don't see anybody prepping for takeoff today. I wonder if I have enough AI aircraft selected. Let's just hit M real quick. Nope, nobody at this airport right now. And we're just going to put it over here. This is a tiny little offshoot with a tiny little taxiway as compared to everything else on this base. We've gone the almost 2 miles down, well actually I think it's more than 2 miles down the runway to take a look at this airport, but more or less this baby is actually pretty hot. We've got to get her away before she overheats. Before she melts all this stuff. So taxi performance crap in this aircraft. But everything else, realistic power on, power off stalls. Clean and dirty. Approach and departure. However you want to say it. And believable instrumentation. Nice. For the $12 it was, even for $22, this might be a good addition to your hangar. So it gets a solid B plus from me. I think the taxi performance is going to be a little bit of a hassle, having to manage that, especially when trying to idle down around 500. But being that I possibly can be absolutely wrong, for those of you that watch my stream, one of the new additions here obviously is the fence. Alright, and that model, those two models are the most common you'll see at my airports. When I mean models, the buildings. Okay, so we're going to hit V. Parking brake is on. Alright, let's see this thing from the outside one more time. Yeah, nice model. Very nice model. It's a decent aircraft, and one of my favorite parts about it, this aircraft, are the visibility in it. If you're just trying to go see the scenery and want to fly in an airplane and not a helicopter, this thing with this cockpit, this huge glass cockpit, which, you know, is a throwback to fighters in World War II. It would just be curved also up there. This thing is huge and beautiful and has visibility everywhere. I would say this is probably a very well designed low wing aircraft, very short and stubby wings, as opposed to having something like a Cirrus. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Pretty happy with this. You know what I like? They even give the distortion on the bubble of the canopy over here when it's moving. It's pretty cool. More so where it's more curved and less so. Oh, here comes a great ending to our video. We are going to go and we are going to take a look at the majestic flight of an SR-71. She's a big bird. She's elegant. She's fast. And she's gorgeous. And she's got more power than any other aircraft that flies out of this space. The product of Lockheed Skunk Works, and today relegated to museum duty, the SR-71 has proven to be one of the best and safest reconnaissance aircraft. And in this 50th anniversary flight, which I don't think it is, I'm just making that up as I go, we're going to follow her down on her amazing takeoff run. And here we go. As she gets going, we're just going to fly over the field behind her as fast as we can. And watch her as she goes, as she gains speed, as she gets to the end of the runway. And follow her along her path as she lifts off into a beautiful flight. And as this more than capable pilot shows us, excuse me, Mr. Pilot, I'm getting a little worried here, folks. What the hell? Where is he going? Oh my God! Somebody call the fire department. Something has gone seriously wrong. Where's he going? No. Don't go over there. There are people waiting for a train over there. No! Alright, folks. I did not plan this, but I do know it happens. For whatever reason, every time the SR-71 takes off from any airport, even Edwards Air Force Base, where they have a ton of runway length, this thing always winds up either on its back or on its side with its engines blasting. It just never takes off, and I don't know why. So you got to see my beautiful new aircraft, which I think all my aircraft are beautiful. Come on a shakedown flight of it. You might see it in the future again. I am kind of partial when I'm flying GA single engine prop aircraft to the Cessna 172 and now of course the Cirrus. But I have three, make that four amazing aircraft. Two from VFlyte, one from Airfoil Labs, and one from Aerosphere. So I have the Airfoil Labs Cessna 172, the VflyteAir's Cirrus SR20 I, and now the Grumman American Tiger. And I also have Aerosphere's Piper Warrior. All these aircraft have given me the utmost fun in the game. Really liking it a lot. Alright folks, I hope you found this video informative, if not just a little talkative. And if you have any comments, make sure you write them below. Over the next few days, I'll be putting together what I want the contest for the Cirrus SR20 to be. But in the meantime, PT Johnson, please contact me at starcitizenaa@gmail.com so I can get you your Airfoil Labs Cessna 172 because it rocks. And with that said, folks, you all be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon.